Hello, writers. So by now you should have watched the instructional video on making body paragraphs. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how to take the information that I used as my research example that you saw with me last week, and we are going to turn those facts into our body paragraph. So if I pull over my graphic organizer, remember that I had my topic at the top, which was Margaret Peterson Haddix, the author. I had my three subtopics: personal life, why did she become a writer, and what has she written? And then for each of those subtopics, I had three facts. So I'm going to start with my first paragraph, and that is going to talk about her personal life. So I'm going to move this over here just a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with taking a look at my facts and seeing how I can blend those together. The first fact is that she grew up in Washington Courthouse, Ohio. Her dad is a farmer. Her mom was a nurse. She went to college at Miami University of Ohio and got a degree in English. And now she lives in Columbus. She's married and has two grown children. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about who she is and where she came from. So I'll start with telling you about where she's from. So Margaret Peterson Haddix grew up in Washington Courthouse, Ohio. I'm going to make sure I spell out Ohio. When we're doing writing, we're not going to have abbreviations. We're not going to have text talk. We're not going to have numbers. We're going to spell everything out. So this is where you're going to want to use some of your resources to find out the spelling of those. So Margaret Peterson Haddix grew up in Washington Courthouse, Ohio. Her father was a farmer, and her mother was a nurse. She went to college at Miami University of Ohio. Remember, that's important to say because there is a Miami University in Florida, where she got her degree in English. And remember, the last fact says that she now lives in Columbus, Ohio with her husband. So I'm going to say she currently lives in Columbus, Ohio. Again, I'm going to spell out Ohio, with her husband. And even though her kids aren't living with her anymore because they are all grown, I'm going to go ahead and mention that she has two grown children. And as you see, I spelled out the word two. I didn't write the number two. Now, when I'm writing my final draft, I'm going to pay close attention to my indentations and tabbing over and making correct spaces. But for right now, I'm going to just separate my paragraphs by a line. Again, I'm going to later do some editing, but for right now, I'm just getting my basic thoughts down on paper, and I will fix it later. So my second subtopic was, why did she become a writer? So let's review what the facts are on that one. She loves books. And I have a quote here for the second fact: loves making up stories and imagining interesting people in interesting situations. It's really good to have a quote from someone when we were doing our research. And then the third fact is that she wanted a career that she didn't actually believe real people got to do. So we're going to put those things in the second paragraph. And we're going to start with our topic sentence. And so this one is telling us what our subtopic is. Why did she become a writer? So I'm going to start with saying there are many reasons that she became a writer. I'm going to talk about how she loves books. So ever since she was little, she has loved books. Now, because I know I'm going to have a quote coming up here, I'm going to lead into that by saying that she has said, I'm going to tell people that this is something that she has actually said. So I'm going to say, when asked about writing, Margaret, because we don't want to just have she all the time, has said she, now I'm going to put my quote in, loves making up stories and imagining interesting people in interesting situations. And that is the end of what she said in that quote, so I'm going to end that with the quotation marks. The last thing that she said was she wanted a career that she didn't actually believe real people got to do. And again, that's when someone had asked her about a career. So when thinking about a career, she wanted a career that she didn't believe that real people actually got to do. And what she means by that is that it was such a dream for her that she's just like, there's no way that an average person like me could get to do such a dream job. It has to only be for really special people, someone really unique. And so she didn't think that's something she could ever actually get to do. And so that's why she was driven and aspired to do that. And my final subtopic was about what has she written. So again, I'm going to skip a line here so I can show you where my paragraphs start and end, because each paragraph is going to be about a specific topic. And the notes that I had taken here were that her first book was called Running Out of Time, and it was published in 1995. She's written more than 36 books, and she's always working on writing or publishing something. And that she has written some series. She's got the Greystone series, the Shadow Children series, the Missing series, and then 15 more non-series books. So she has been writing for a lot of years. So my topic sentence is going to talk about all of the writing she's done. So I'm going to say in the many years that she has been writing. And it's okay if I put my facts in different order, because this is what I'm going to write now is about how many books she's written altogether. And then I'm going to get more specific with her first book and then her series. So it doesn't matter what order you put your facts in. You want to put your facts in an order that makes sense for what you're writing. So in the many years that she has been writing, Margaret has written more than 36 books. And again, I'm going to write out the word 36. She is always writing something and waiting for something to be published, because the act of publishing takes some time. That might be an interesting topic for another research project too, if that's something you're interested in. The work that goes into publishing a book is really kind of fascinating. So now that I've talked about how long she's been writing, and how many books she's written, I'm going to go into a little bit more specifics. So I'm going to say her first book, comma, I'm going to write the title of the book, and I put it in quotes here, Running Out of Time, was published in 1995. Since then, now I'm going to talk about the series and other kinds of books that she's written, which was my third fact. Since then, she has written many series, including the Greystone series, the Shadow Children, series, and I'm going to put which is 7 books, which contains, I'm going to use a fancy word there, which contains 7 books, and the Missing series, which is 10 books. She has also written, because I don't want to think that this is just series books, she's also written more than 15 non-series books. Okay, so right now I've taken those 3 subtopics and the 3 facts for each topic, and I've made 3 paragraphs. And if you'll notice, each paragraph sticks on the topic. The first paragraph is about growing up. The second paragraph is about becoming a writer. And the third paragraph is about what she has written. So your next step is you're going to take your subtopics and your facts, and you're going to put them into your paragraphs. When we're finished with that, then our next step is we'll have a lesson on making the introduction and then the conclusion, and then we'll talk about publishing your final work. Happy writing!